276 Adesanya versus Cannonier trailer. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave comments. Let us know who you think gonna win in the main event. Who's gonna win between Volkanovski and Max Holloway 3. Let's take a look at this trailer and just kind of break it down. So we got Israel here. Defended the belt against Marvin. Defended it against Robert for the second time. You know, it's funny that the toughest fight he had was actually against Kelvin. That's so odd. Of all the people that you go to war with, it's Kelvin. Like the Yoel fight wasn't even...
Yeah, because Kelvin, he just came off a knockout over Michael Bisping. And at one point, it was like, oh, Kelvin, he's just knockout artist.
Yeah.
I think if you're running back, I think like he'll just mop the floor with him.
I don't think you can run it back because Kelvin can't really get there. So it's like you can't even really run it back. That's just so odd of all the people. You got... Yeah, it's like at this point, okay, so...
When people gonna put some respect on his name, though, man?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because, I mean, he is the current middleweight king, but I feel like people are not really crowning him the greatest middleweight of all time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes
like,
it's
sense, like you're the current champion, but you're not the greatest middleweight of all time. Like, that's what I kind of feel people are thinking. But who is going to be the champion outside of him? Who is going to be the greatest middleweight of all time? Who else?
Man, it's crazy, bro. I think a lot of that has to do because he's in Anderson Silva's weight class. So I think people are always going to look at him like he's the GOAT. It's like, it don't matter how many fights he wins, bro. Let's be honest. People still going to kind of doubt him.
But I think that after a few more wins, and as long as he don't end the last few fights of his career getting knocked out 11 times, I think he could take it and be the middleweight greatest of all time. But I think there's more work to be done in the middleweight division. You know what I mean?
I want to see him get a couple more finishes, man.
That's the thing.
He's kind of known for like when he had a couple of lackluster performances.
Yeah, that's true.
When he like squeaked out victories.
You're right.
So I think he need to get more finishes.
I think that's the thing. If what he did to Paulo Costa, if he had 2 or 3 or more of those.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do that against Cannonier.
But you know the crazy thing is it's tough to get those finishes because he actually don't run from the toughest competition. A lot of other people would have gotten finishes because they would have been fighting lesser competition. Yeah, if they was in his shoes, they make all the Jacares at the time, Jacares, Geghards, Luke Rockholds, all y'all fight each other, and I'll fight the person who comes out on top. You see what I'm saying?
Do you think he get penalized because some of these fights he make look easy, like the Marvin Vettori fight?
Yeah.
He made it look very easy. I think he get penalized. Because,
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. What's next? Jared Cannonier coming from heavyweight. A lot of power, a lot of strength. You know, very calculated with it as well. He was losing that Derek Brunson fight. You know, the thing about Jared is now he don't have to worry about people necessarily laying on him and holding him down. Because there were some fights that he had, like Glover. He was doing well against Glover. It just Glover was
beating, and then he was beating most opponents he had
until he got out grappled.
The only thing is, like the Dominic Reyes fight, man. Like he kind of struggled against a taller, longer.
But you can't even run that fight back now at this point.
Yeah,
like in no weight class. So he grew from that one. Like, he demanded the title shot. I was there for that. That was crazy.
It seemed like he's more confident, man. Like back then when he was losing against like heavyweights, it seemed like he was kind of doubting himself a little bit. Now he's more confident. He said he could beat any guy in the world.
Because you got to think about it. If you fighting these guys coming down from heavyweight, they're coming from heavyweight as well, but they got black belts in jiu-jitsu. And you used to being the bigger, stronger guy, but they big and strong too. But they got black belts in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And you still got to worry about them on the feet. They can still knock, you know what I'm saying? And they kind of take away all your advantages. But now coming down to middleweight, you got more weapons to work with. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight, man. But to be honest, I just don't see how Israel don't 50-45 this. Like, I'm going to be real.
Yeah, I feel like that's the safest way to win.
I feel like
don't
that's...
make it a war.
Yeah.
You ain't got to... Because it feel like sometimes, like some fights, he have to prove he's tough. If that makes sense. Yeah. Because he had to do it against Kelvin Gastelum, and it's like, nah, go out there and just win it, bro. Like Jared, not the opponent to go out there and go to war with.
Because you'll look up and that belt will be around somebody else's waist. Man, he cleaned some people up though, man. Hey, if he need more performances like the Paulo, it's crazy because I thought Paulo was gonna be the most dangerous person, and he made Paulo look like the easiest person.
I think he is the most dangerous person. Well, he was at one point.
And look, you can't be on the ground with this guy, man. Look, we got Volkanovski and and Holloway. What does Holloway do this time, man? Because you fought him twice. The first fight was competitive. The second fight, a lot of people felt like Max won, but Max had points where he dropped uh, Volkanovski. He dropped Alex, and he let him off the hook, and then he ended up losing a split decision. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, why did you why did you take your feet off the gas pedal?
I think
what was the point of that?
I think this is a situation where, like, I think Volkanovski, he just has Max's number. Sometimes we see that in sports or whatever, where like an athlete or a team, they just always beat this team, but they lose to everybody else, or they lose to other fighters.
Remember how the Patriots could always go undefeated and then lose to the Dolphins at the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Like, no matter what they did, they would always get right there and just lose to the Dolphins, who hadn't won all season. It's kind of like that thing. Like,
but then it seems like Volkanovski just not scared of Max, man.
He not.
And, I mean, he's not now, but even like in the first fight, he came out like he was like, "I'm not scared of Max."
Volkanovski is different, man. Like, he even had an interview. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if he finished Max, because he said I'm gonna end it this time for real. Like I think this time he gonna try to put Max away.
But it's like Max not what he used to be. Like, he used to have this, like, he still got the world class cardio, but like nobody's scared of his cardio like they used to. Back in the day, it was like, oh yeah, man, like his cardio is just phenomenal. Condition is like true. Now it's like,
because the thing is, Max don't finish a whole lot of fighters.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, no matter what Max does, he just beats you down.
Hey, I hate to say this, but it seems like that Dustin Poirier fight made him look more human.
Yeah, he shouldn't. I didn't like that fight anyway. I didn't think that fight even made sense. And now, what did it do? It just put him on he was on a 2-fight losing streak at one point.
Yeah.
And now, nah. Got the trilogy. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think Volkanovski might stop this one, bro. Sugar Sean, I don't know why I keep saying Sugar Shane. This ain't Sugar Shane Mosley. This is Sean O'Malley. Man, people sleep on Pedro. Pedro actually could win this fight.
Yeah. Cause I think like he'll like lose to a top ranked like fighter, and then his next opponent will like think, okay, he lost this fight, I can go out there and beat him.
Like, it was easy. Like, Dominic had to fight hard to get that fight. Like, is that the fight where Dominic got dropped?
Yeah, he got dropped in the first round.
Oh,
he came back
man, Sean better not sleep on
this. But Sean still has some stuff to prove, though, man. Like, he never beat nobody on the level as Pedro.
Because Sean's fan base has gotten him, like, his name is further along. We talked about this. His name is further along than his actual UFC accomplishments. His like, work. Is Sean in the top 10?
I don't think so.
I don't even think he's ranked.
I think he's like 14. I think he's ranked like number 14.
He ain't even ranked yet, man. You would think that this dude finna fight for the title at some point. He got a long way to go. So yeah, so that's the trailer. It's a straight trailer. It ain't the best trailer I've seen as far as, like, I think they could have picked better music. I like the UFC 273 one the best, with Gilbert Burns and Kamzat. Like, that was a crazy trailer, but yeah. So y'all let us know what y'all think. We also gonna be dropping videos, breakdowns of the early prelims, the prelims, and the main card. So y'all.